Things just got out of hand.
Things just got out of hand.
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. So today we are talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. This is going to be my non-spoiler review. I am going to do a spoiler review as well because there's a lot to talk about in this movie, but this again is going to be spoiler free, so you don't have to worry about that. Without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about my most anticipated movie of 2022. So in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange casts a forbidden spell that opens a portal to the multiverse. However, a threat emerges that may be too big for his team to handle. So this movie is very hard to talk about without giving any spoilers away. Basically, Doctor Strange, he's still dealing with the aftermath of Endgame and No Way Home when he runs into America Chavez, who we find out has the ability to jump throughout the multiverse. We also find out that she's being pursued by someone or something, so it's up to Doctor Strange and company to protect her. And that's all I'm really going to get into as far as the plot goes of this movie, because I don't really want to get into any other details because it could very easily spoil things. So I'm just going to kind of talk about some of the characters, their performances in the film, and a couple other aspects, that I like or didn't like about the movie. So, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, he is great once again in this movie. The events of Endgame are brought up in this movie a couple times, and specifically in one occasion where Strange is having this conversation with someone, and the person asks if the path that he chose was the only one. And Strange says, yep, that was the only option. And so you can still see him kind of grappling with the events, what happened due to the blip and everything. And then someone also asked him, a couple times, I believe, if he's truly happy. And so you definitely get an arc with Doctor Strange in this movie. And I mean, at this point, Benedict Cumberbatch, he's really come into his own as the role as Doctor Strange. Plus, of course, you get the arrogant, quippy side of the character still as well. So he's great in this movie, of course. And then we had Xochitl, which I apologize if I'm saying her name wrong. She makes her MCU debut as America Chavez, and I was really interested to learn more about this character. I actually ended up picking up some of her comics just to kind of get a little bit of backstory going into this movie, but was really excited to see what they're going to do with her character, and I'm happy to say that I thought right from the get-go, she was really enjoyable, very easy to like as a character, and I thought the chemistry that she has with Doctor Strange and company was great in this movie too. So thought that, her being introduced, she fit nice and easy right into the MCU and to this Doctor Strange movie. And of course, it's always great to see Wong in any of these movies. He's definitely seems like he's starting to pop up a little bit more. And he actually gets a pretty decent sized role in this movie too. So that was very cool. So if there's any, for all you Wong fans out there, I think that you're really going to enjoy this movie. Now we get to Elizabeth Olsen playing the Scarlet Witch in Wanda. And all I have to say is she is fucking incredible in this movie. As you guys can obviously see, I'm a big Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff fan, so I was really, that's a good chunk of why I was looking forward to this movie so much. So I was really excited to see what they were going to do, especially what we got from the trailers. And I will say that if you are Scarlet Witch fans, there's a pretty good chance I don't think you're going to be let down by this movie. There is a couple people with certain choices that they make with the character that you could possibly be, but I think for the most part, a lot of fans are going to really like what they see from her in this movie. And I would say this is just as much a Scarlet Witch movie as it almost is a Doctor Strange film, which again, depending on kind of where you fall as far as like a fandom or fan in the MCU fandom, could upset you a little bit. But for me, being a fan of this character for such a long time, she nailed it in this movie. And if you guys have not seen WandaVision going into this movie, I definitely highly recommend you guys checking that out because it is going to help explain things a little bit easier. They do kind of go over it a little bit, but if you've seen that show, you're definitely going to have a better understanding of what's going on with some of the choices that they make, because otherwise you might be a little bit confused. So just want to give you that heads up. I would say this is definitely the darkest MCU has been up to this point as far as films, television shows. They really go for it in this movie, which I was kind of surprised by just because they haven't really done that up to this point. So you can really see Sam Raimi's fingerprints all over this movie with films like Drag Me to Hell and even a little bit of Evil Dead. You get things like there's zombies, there's demons, there's even possession and different things like that. So yeah, I was, being a horror fan myself, it's nothing that I was, afraid of, but it was just so cool to see being a fan of horror and seeing some of those aspects brought into this movie. So if you're not a horror fan, or if you do have little kids that they haven't really been exposed to horror films, just a heads up, there is some stuff that could possibly scare them. I don't think it's like, this film isn't like a straight up horror movie, but it definitely has elements in there that could be a little frightening for some, younger kids. But being such a big horror fan, I absolutely love that aspect of it. And for me, it makes this movie just completely stand out from the rest of the MCU films up to this point. And I'm really hoping we're going to start seeing more of this explored in Phase 4, Phase 5, etc. because that just gets me really excited. And you also get those Sam Raimi cinematography where you get, just different kind of shots, tilting of the camera. There's like, the zooming in on different characters' faces and things like that. There's one particular moment where there's like a possession going on, and you see a picture frame, and you see the person that's in the picture. They're looking like this, and then all of a sudden they just turn and look right at the camera, and just, some of those things, I was like, yes, give me more of this. So I was really, really happy with what they did as far as like those aspects go. And I gotta say too, I love Danny Elfman's score. I totally forgot that he was the one who was doing, the score for the film. So I mean, you have Sam Raimi, you have Danny Elfman, you have Scarlet Witch, a Doctor Strange movie. As you can see, guys, I really, really enjoy this thing. I will say temper your expectations when it comes to the cameos for this film. That's one of the things I have seen people complaining about, saying that there wasn't enough cameos in this movie. And for me, I don't need cameos to make a movie good. Like, it's great if we get cameos that are awesome and fit with the story. And that's what happens with this movie here. But I would just say definitely, lower your expectations for that aspect a little bit. I went into this movie wanting to see a good Doctor Strange movie that featured a fairly big role from Wanda, aka the Scarlet Witch, based off what we got from the promotional materials and things like that, and something that was a little bit darker, a little bit scarier for the MCU. And that's exactly what I got with this movie, and I was so happy with that. So I think just going into this movie with the right expectations is definitely going to help you enjoy it a little bit more too, not just expecting everyone in the MCU to show up in this thing. So overall, Multiverse of Madness is a fun, bonkers, non-stop thrill ride that horror fans especially, I think, will really enjoy. So as you can see, guys, I absolutely love this movie. I have seen this thing 3 times now so far. So I've seen it once every day since it's come out. I can't, and we're going to get into this in the spoiler aspect of the video, that separate video that I'm going to do, but so many things that I definitely want to talk to you guys about with this movie. So yeah, I definitely recommend you guys go ahead and check this out. As far as the score goes, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I fucking love this movie. I can't wait for it to come out. As soon as it goes up for pre-order on, for Steelbook, definitely going to be getting that day one for sure. But yeah, I definitely want to hear what your guys' thoughts are overall, because there is some mixed reviews out there for this film. So let me know down below in the comments. Have you seen the movie? If you have, what are your thoughts? Keep it spoiler free down below in these comments, because like I said, I'm going to have a spoiler video up where we can talk a little bit more about it there. But let me know your thoughts down below. If you haven't seen it, is it something that you're planning to check out? And as always, if you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it. That way you get notifications for all my new videos. Please give this video a thumbs up. And as always, guys, please make sure to check back for more Pop Culture with Pat.